And gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Ooh, welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Cedary. This is episode 560. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin. I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes, who was just handed a cold one mere seconds before we got this thing going.
I was like, all right.
I saw you on the screen. Hurry, 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 hurry.
She was holding it through the door, and I was like, I can't get up.
Oh man, what a way to wind down the Sunday.
That's right. That's right.
For Papa Nate over there.
That's right.
Pool day for both of us.
Pool day on a Sunday is hard to beat. Hard to beat. Especially the post-pool relaxation, shower, baggy, comfy clothes.
AC just blast in your face.
There's fewer things in life that match that vibe. Let me tell you.
I love going to the pool on a day like today because you just get zapped by the sun and you're worthless and you feel like you did so much, even though you're so much. I did nothing today.
So much.
The best.
So much.
The best. Speaking of getting zapped, let's talk about the Brewers finally dropping one right off the top here. I'd say within the hour, maybe even, Brewers, 14-game win streak came to a close against the pesky Cincinnati Reds, which I realized seconds before we hopped on, just moments before you were handed your adult beverage.
That's right.
That
cold,
the Reds
jacket.
Not only did the Brewers drop the win streak, that came to a screeching halt. The Reds, with the win against the Brewers to salvage the series here, avoided being swept.
Arguably a more impressive streak.
I would make a case for that. I'd be willing to die on that hill. The fact that I believe the last team to not have been swept.
That's nice.
That's good for the Reds, and to do it against the red hot Brewers. Good for the Reds. But let's talk about the Brewers here. I know we talked I think we mentioned them a little bit last episode, but the streak was still intact. So I think we were a little bit heavier on the Padres and Dodgers last episode, which I've got a little something to say about that. Dodgers making me look like a fool. But this Brewers win streak, we knew it was going to come to a close. This wasn't sustainable. And no. What we have yet to see, though, is what the fall off is going to be, because unless the Brewers have another win streak up their sleeves, the law of averages tells you that maybe a little regression is in order. Maybe slightly. They're still the best team in baseball. Them dropping a game means nothing or affects in no way the fact that they are the best team in baseball right now. But what do we think? Do we think I'm curious about the timing. How do we feel about the timing? Because it is August 17th, which means we've got a little less than a month and a half left to go. I'm not worried about the Brewers at all. And again, this isn't in response to today, them dropping a game, but like I said, assuming some regression is coming, I think they can afford to have a rough week or two if that ends up being the case, and still have plenty of time to bounce back before October. Is that fair to say?
Well, let's look at it this way. 8.5 game lead currently in the division. Quick math, 78 plus 45 is what?
Ask me again.
23?
I missed it. What did you say?
78 plus 45? I think it's 123.
78. You're saying it too fast. 78
plus 45.
45. Is that 113 or 123? That's
123, I think.
70. Hold on.
ChatGPT.
No. Yeah, 123. That was
Come on.
that
Come
man.
on.
The sun really took it out of me today. What can I say?
Okay, so now 162 minus 123.
Okay.
39?
I didn't know this was going to be a math lesson today. 162 minus 123, 39 games.
I'm freaking rolling right now in the math department. Okay, so 39 games left. You're at 78 wins. Again, we talked about this last week. I feel like the sweet spot for a division winner majority of the time, but I think we can solidify it in this case. Just no disrespect, but it's the NL Central.
No disrespect.
I kind of use that 90 win mark as like the milestone.
Well, pump the brakes. Let's rewind. I'm not just going to let you zoom past that. This is in the year 2025, we're going to be throwing down it's the NL Central. We're throwing down that line in 2025 when you've got 3 playoff worthy teams in the division.
I think that speaks more to the fall off of the NL than the greatness of NL Central. The fall off has been crazy and not talked about enough. The NL has had a fall off, league wide fall off. Anywho,
so are you saying the state of both teams is in a free fall right now? No. Is that what you're saying? Because we know how the American League is.
Let me finish my statement, and then you'll understand. We're at 78 wins now. If they have a brutal final 5-6 weeks, and you win 12 out of those 39 games, you're at 90 wins. Now, whether you want to limp into the postseason is a different argument, but that's what I'm saying is that's loading up on wins now is just as important as loading up on wins in the beginning of the year. Is that you're putting them in the bank and you're solidifying that spot. And that's what they're doing. You're telling me they can't get 12 more wins over the next 6 weeks? They could absolutely do that. This team could potentially be in the conversation of 95 plus wins. So if you're in that conversation, then you're like, okay, I'm feeling really good. In reality, what is that? That's 500. The rest of the way out, they go 500 and they're winning 95 plus games. There's 39 games left.
That's what. Let's just say they go 20-19. What is 20? What is 20?
14 and
20 wins puts them at 98 wins for the season. So if they play,
that's basically 500 ball. It's 20-19.
That's what I'm saying.
Over the next 39 games.
Yeah, if they play a decimal above,
that's a massively successful season. I would argue, I don't know Brewers history, but I would argue probably up there with a franchise record.
That goes to show you how hard it is to win 100 games, honestly, because they're 33 games over 500. And
real talk.
You still got to win 20 games, and you're still not at 100 at the century mark. That's crazy. But speaking of franchise records, they set a benchmark with their 14th win by surpassing the 1987 team that opened the season, winning its first 13 games. I did see I found something interesting. I think we'll call it their overall record for consecutive wins was actually a mix of 86 and 87, because apparently I think they won out the previous 3 games of the 86 season and then rolled right into 14.
Those give me combined no-hitter vibes.
Yep.
You know?
I'm with you. Even worse, hit streaks.
Hit streaks are the worst.
Hit streaks that roll over from season to season. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. So still favorite. No change in perception on the Brewers, given how much or how little time we have left.
Good ball club does not beat themselves. I feel like what's difficult about the NL is that you have some juggernauts, and no disrespect to the Brewers, I don't know if they have that gear that the Phillies or Dodgers can reach. The Phillies and Dodgers have this extra gear that they can get into where they're like, I'm going to bludgeon you. I'm going to have 2 or 3 guys with multiple home runs in this series, and it's good luck. Try to match us. And it's tough for the Brewers because I don't feel like they have that type of pop in their lineup. And we've heard it year after year, every broadcast, whether it's Fox or TBS or whatever the game is on, they always talk about the team that out-homers the other team. It's all about homers. That's what it's about in the postseason. And you hope that the Brewers can hang, but if one of these other top-tier teams, even if they're not the same on the win total, even if they're not the same in seeding, you look at the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Padres, you're like, when they get hot, look out. And that's just kind of the thing holding me back with the Brewers. Can you hang when it comes to these teams turning it on in the postseason? Fair?
It goes back to what we talked about briefly last episode with my apology to Andrew Vaughn. Like, no disrespect. Is Andrew Vaughn going to be the guy that has to provide you the surge? Not to say he's not capable, and not to say that we haven't seen postseasons where, you get some, I'm not going to say no names, but, maybe some unsung heroes stepping up and being the guy. Mm-hmm. Not saying that couldn't happen for the Brewers, but we're just talking odds here. Like, do we like the odds of an Andrew Vaughn carrying a Brewers team, even though they have the power of friendship behind them? Or do we like the odds of a guy like Bryce Harper, who, let's be honest, has struggled this year? Do we like the odds of him turning it on in October?
That's what I'm saying. And it's
or
not
any bevy
just,
of names.
It's not just one name. That's when you look at these other teams, it is a Kyle Schwarber. It is a Castellanos.
Exactly.
It is a Freddie Freeman. It is a Mookie Betts. It is a Shohei. Like, you look at star players show up in star moments. And I think the lover of baseball in me would love to see a hard-nosed, well-played baseball team like the Brewers have success in the postseason. I love that aspect to it, but that's just not what I feel like our game is today. I think it's a fun story.
Fair point.
I think they can get there. I think they can do damage. I think they can scare some of these other teams. It's just the potential of some of these other lineups that it's hard to imagine the Brewers hanging.
The potential, the ceiling. Yeah, I completely agree. And I didn't, by the way, I didn't mean to leave off a name like Christian Yelich or, some of the arms they have. I'm just saying.
And Christian Yelich is there's fun stories here. Like Christian Yelich finding
having a very good year.
Back half of his career, no pun intended, but back half of his career where, he's post surgeries and back. The word back was the pun.
Yeah. Okay. I was like 10 seconds behind.
Sneaky one. It was a sneaky one.
That was good.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's good stories. It's young core. It's good ball, and that's exciting. And I don't want to come down on that. I want to praise that. I love how the Brewers do it in a very different way. But I think if you remove the name, the logo, and you just look at Team A versus Team B, this is the Tampa Bay Rays of the Midwest. They're finding a different way of doing it, but can they get over the hump and actually hoist the trophy when it's all said and done?
That almost sounded like a slur of sorts.
Well, take it as you will.
Do I need to go back and
I don't know.
Cut
but
that
I just
out?
gave you an absolute bar of a quote graphic.
The Tampa Bay Rays of the Midwest.
Yeah, please put some context in that because I don't need the comments coming at me. Listen to the before and after. Lack of what is it? Lack of
context.
Not context, but the attention span. That's what I was looking for. Lack of attention span from our society. We need context always.
Well, speaking of people coming after us, I have not seen, and honestly, I can't even. I can't even get mad. I'm kind of impressed at how quickly and how aggressively the Dodgers fan base ate up my quote graphic from last episode. They came after me hard. They were waiting. They were running. They were running laps around me in the comments. You know it. They waited. Some of them waited till they secured the series. Some of them were smart. Some of them waited till the series was in the bag, but some of them were coming after me after the first game, and I was like, let's slow the roll a little bit. I did say, for those, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, my quote graphic from last episode I put out where I said, if we saw a Dodgers Padres, in fact, I think I said it twice on the episode. I said, if we saw a Dodgers Padres NLCS and it started today, I'm 100% taking the Padres. And this was leading up to the Dodgers-Padres series that's currently going on at this very moment. They're in the 5th inning of Game 3. Dodgers are up 4-1, 4-2 now. Ramon Laureano just went deep. The Dodgers fans, delete this.
I was just on that one. Yeah, 6th straight year I've heard this very sentence.
They'd be down 2-0 after last night's game. Everyone somehow chooses the opposing team first, the Dodgers, you know. But then you had a Dodgers fan at this, or I guess a Dodgers fan. I don't know. They said at this point, Dave Roberts would manage losing a 7-game series against Colorado. That sounds like a real Dodgers fan who just knows that this year has been a struggle. Dodgers aren't even playing their best baseball, and the Padres still can't beat them. There's still time to delete this. The Padres are about to get swept. Are you sure about that GIF? Laughing GIF. This post.
You got one I agree in here.
This post didn't age well at all. Somebody wants attention, which I'm not going to say the name because I'm not trying to give, unnecessary attention to this guy. But the guy says, someone wants attention, go Dodgers. And his literal profile picture is him taking a mirror selfie at the gym in a sweaty cutoff. If you don't see if we're lacking awareness, that's a lack of personal awareness on the level of people that go to Costco on Saturday or Sunday.
That's a lack of personality is what that is.
But like I said, I can't even be mad. People ask me, this didn't age well. Sure about this. Anyway, they came after me. And look, I've got to hand it to the Dodgers here. They made me look like a fool this weekend, Well, really the Padres were the ones that made me look like a fool. Like I'm sticking my neck out there for you guys in saying something that I felt pretty confident in saying. If the NLCS started today, I'm taking the Padres. And I felt pretty good about that. And then they're on the verge of getting swept. Take a game.
You do like the if scenarios. If things
I
started,
eat them up.
Yeah.
I love that's what, if you remember years ago when we were still doing this way back in the day, I would grind people's gears. I'd put if the postseason started today graphic out
3 weeks into this.
Not even, dude. There was one year I think I put it out after 3 games, and people say mathematically, I don't even know how you determine division standings right now, but I made it work. But yeah, I eat those scenarios up. But like I said, I felt good about the state of where these two teams were and their respective trajectories. But now the Padres just go out this weekend and lay a dud. And again, there's still time in this game 3, but I'm banking on a sweep. With my luck, I'm banking on a sweep. But let's talk about it. Does this change our point of view? Pre Padres Dodgers series, we had our thoughts on like I said, where these two teams were at, which directions they're heading in. Does the fact that the Dodgers, does them coming out and winning the series this weekend, again, possibly sweeping, does that change your thoughts at all? Or do you still feel like the Dodgers are at a place where they have a pretty strong uphill battle as it pertains to October?
It's definitely an uphill battle. Sorry, I was trying to look at how the starters lined up. It's actually not like crazy lopsided as far as the starters go. I think it was Kershaw, Randy Vasquez, Snell, Cease, game 2. Third game going on right now. Glass now. Who was it? Glass now. Darvish.
Yeah, today.
It's hard to say. Look, like I said, man, there's that gear that certain teams can get to that can turn on at the right time. And some of these series late in the season when the division is this close, you kind of hope that your boys are like ready to roll. And it was very obvious that the Dodgers just kind of the Padres kind of came out flat and just didn't have the juice.
Who's your boys? Are you talking to me or just in a general sense?
you and in general.
My boys. They're far from my boys.
I'm going off the quote graphic. I'm just
that's the thing. That's
gasoline.
That's the thing that I hate. You want to talk about a lack of context. People just assume that because I put that quote out there that I like bleed blue. I'm this diehard. I'm like part of the what do they call Pantones? The group.
What pisses me off is that how many of the y'alls that are in there where I'm like, I didn't say any of this, but I get roped into this take.
No, I don't interpret it that way. I interpret the y'all as like this clown and
Plus
his mob. And the mob behind him. That's how I interpret it. I'm like, I couldn't care less which of these teams. Both of these teams could lose out for all I care. Does not affect me whatsoever.
Yeah, I really don't.
I'm just like, I could see it both ways, man. Like I get it how a quote graphic like that would maybe spark a little fire under Dodgers fans. Like, hey, like relax. Have you been tuned into the TV this weekend? But on the flip side, I'm like, are we really running victory laps right now with a month and a half left to go in the season, and your team still is on shaky ground? We'll call it.
The problem, and I'm going to pull back the curtain on the one of many social media issues.
One of many. Oh, we could have a whole episode about this.
Multiple episodes. The proximity to this series with the post. If you put that post out a week sooner, I don't think you have the same backlash.
No.
It's specifically because of this showing up on people's feeds while
Correct.
The series is still going. They're seeing it for the first time. And you're like, how did this take hold up? Freezing cold take. Like, this aged like milk. And it's just like, well, duh, dude, you're just cherry picking because, sorry, I pick a side before the series. But if you do it a week ago and no one really remembers, that's our attention span that I was referring to earlier, by the way. Society. Keep it up.
I mean, Nate, if we're being honest, I was fully aware that the series was this weekend. I mean, it wasn't unintentional me dropping this quote. However, I just thought the Padres were going to handle business, or at the very least, I don't know, win a game.
All right, well, here we go. We got second and third. We got 2 outs, top 5.
Luis arrives with a massive bloops double.
Just a 215-foot double.
That might be out of Williamsport, low key.
Look at him moving.
Former Dodgers legend, Dodgers great, all-time great, Manny Machado stepping to the plate. What do we think happens here?
I don't know. I like it.
Hey, shout out to our friends in the chat. Chinook showing up yet again. They want to know while we wait for this Manny Machado at bat to play out. They want to know what the best players weekend bat by an MLB player was. I think I learned something this weekend because I was at the game. I was at the Nats game yesterday, Saturday, and I believe I saw the bat that our sweet young Prince was swinging. And I think, let me check here because I saw what he was using today. Yeah, he was using like a flame bat or something yesterday, but today he was using one with his last name down the barrel. And that was something I hadn't considered before, is that the guys roll up to Players Weekend with, some of these guys roll up with like a collection of bats that they roll out, that they take up the dish. So
Makes sense.
interesting. I don't know. I saw pencil bats again this year.
I'm out on the pencil and crayon bats. I'm all done.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on that too.
All
if I'm
done.
being honest with you.
It's been like 7-8 years, and I feel for the guys that have to like pull it, like the players that have to pull it out of the sleeve, and they're like, oh yeah, it's like you haven't seen this a million times over the last few years. I do sound like a hater. Manny Machado grounds out, by the way, and Glass now gets out of the gym. I'm still I like the lightsaber ones.
You're a big You've always been a big Star Wars guy, for sure.
Let's pause for a sec. Am
I wrong?
Well, when Disney took over, I'm a big OG Star Wars guy. I haven't seen the last, I don't know how many movies, 5, 6 movies. I'm out on that. Sorry, Disney blows.
My favorite of the weekend was the Wally head bat from Jarren Duran. Let me see. Actually, I might be able to play it here. He actually had a few. He had like a Lilo and Stitch one.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you can see it there on sort of the back. But
that is cool.
Very, very strong collection for my guy Jarren Duran. Which, by the way, side note,
what was that first one?
Honestly, I don't know. Jaws, maybe?
It's giving a little Jaws. I kind of like that.
Is that Jaws? Oh no, the Joker. It looks like.
Ooh.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? Oh, I low key think I might pull the trigger on a Jarren Duran Fenway green jersey.
Amid all of the trade rumors this year, huh? Still feel confident in that.
I'm kind of over that at this point. I'm like the same way about Xander. I love Xander. I'll still rock the Road Sox Xander jersey. I don't care. Because these guys don't stay put long enough anyway to care about it anymore.
The grip it and rip it bat is cool. Victus is clearly dominating in this category, by the way. And I know that like design is design. It's not really up to the bat, but like Victus is all over these. They're nailing them.
Players Weekend was made for Victus and vice versa.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my statement on the Padres Dodgers series. So the Padres, my official statement is that the Padres made me look like a fool this weekend. So that's that.
Like a fool.
Let's talk. Speaking of being a fool, the Mets kind of suck still. I don't think we actually really covered that.
Let's all just join together.
Last episode coming into tonight, which if you're watching this live, join us, and I'll try to remember it at the end as a reminder. But be sure to join us tonight for our Keeping Book segment, where we all come together as baseball fans and have Nate teach us all how to keep book.
We'll be doing that. I need to teach you anymore, man. I think you become one of the teachers now.
The student becomes the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not for me. I've been able to benefit from this, but this is for the folks at home that want to learn how to keep book. We may have some newbies. Who's to really say?
True.
But anywho's, yeah, join us tonight for the Little League Classic, Mariners Mets. But as I mentioned, the Mets were coming into today. The Mets are 3-14 in their last 17 games. Yeah. Over that span, they have I'll be honest with you, this is kind of hard to believe, but they actually don't have the worst team ERA in baseball. They actually have the 5th worst in all of baseball over that span. a clip of 5.47. Offensively, not so much the problem. 13th best team OPS over the last 17 games. Again, that 3 and 14 span at 723. So it's not necessarily their offense, but they just have no help on the mound. And I think they brought it, what was his face? Nolan McLean, I believe, to make his debut yesterday.
Some of the nastiest. Oh my.
Threw the ball exceptionally well. And I'm already starting to see like the savior tag attached to him. And I'm like,
they're so desperate to tag people with stuff, dude.
Is this the the $1 billion New York Mets that we're talking about here, needing a Nolan McLean to come be the savior? Come on now.
Yeah.
Because I think
I do have like a diehard like meme that I think you could insert with this guy, John McClane. I know it's spelled differently, but still. We'll come back to this if he has another good start. And he is the savior. You know what I mean?
I like where your head's at.
A little yippee-ki-yay on that, you know?
Are you offering your social media services? Are you
It's for sale.
Are you offering to take over? Do you want to take that load off my shoulders?
I'm a brainstorming master, and then it ends there. Can't tell you how it's done. I'll cook it up though.
I like the idea. You've put out some bangers. You've given me
Thanks.
some ideas. You're like, hey, throw this out there. See how it does. It cooks. It cooks.
Cheers.
Cheers. But going back to the question I asked you about the Brewers and our now that the Brewers came back down to earth, they showed us they're human. They dropped a game. What's your perception on the Brewers? Same thing for the Mets here. After this 3 and 14 skid, where are we at with the Mets? Because I'll be honest with you. I really, and this may change tomorrow, but as of right now, I really want to be optimistic about the Mets.
Want to?
I genuinely do. I genuinely do. Because what was it at the end of last year, or the year before? I was like, we're at a point now where I think we gotta throw the bid out the window, at least for a little while. Because the Mets are showing us that they're not like
I won't.
Well, we definitely had this conversation of like, hey, maybe the Mets bit needs to take a back seat for just a minute. We covered this. We talked about this. I think it was at the end of last year.
Totally different guy.
But this is not the same Nate that we were dealing with last year. He changes year to year,
Day to
day, hour by hour. Actually, I really want to be optimistic about this Mets team, and I even
they are who we thought they were.
Will you hate me if I say this? It's hard to say this without sounding like I'm patting my own back here. Went on radio last week and they were asking me about this.
It's a good flex.
I didn't even say who it was with. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I went on radio last week and they're asking me about this.
And they playing songs through my MP3 last week.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I'm with you. Like, people
Busted
have their
the
opinions.
Old iPod shuffle last
People
week.
have their opinions about radio. I'm just letting you know. I was asked about this, and they said, "Do you think there's enough time?"
Yeah, of course.
For the Mets, and I said, "Yeah, I do." So me going on record and saying that I think that there's still time, and I think they can turn things around. Is that not a vote of confidence for the Mets?
No, I mean, yeah, sure.
I don't want to be on record as being a hater because I've had my fair share of that these past days.
I don't mind being a hater. Helsley's kind of looked like crap for a while now, hasn't he? That hasn't looked great. I think there was the first few outings and then it eventually just kind of fizzled.
Let's look at the game log.
You can look at the game log if you want. I feel like I'm pretty accurate on this. They are who we thought they were, dude. Like they're running out of steam in the pitching department. And We knew this coming in. We knew that this was going to be
remind me. We know the additions they made on the back end, but am I blanking on somebody they added on the rotation at the deadline?
The fact that we can't think of a name probably tells you all we need to know.
Let's see here. Yeah, yikes. He's given up in his last 2 1/3. He's given up, and that's over four appearances. He's given up 5 earned runs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not exactly the lockdown stuff you were hoping for.
No, it's not. Then it kind of throws your closer, Edwin Diaz, in a little bit of a bind. If you're like, just because you're a closer doesn't mean you're exactly like a fireman guy where you're coming in with guys on. And they've had to do that a couple times. So if the whole point of their deadline, which was primarily bullpen focused, with Gregory Soto coming in.
Excuse me, not 5 runs, 7 runs.
Yeah. The whole point was to shorten the game. And that's the recipe. If the recipe doesn't go well, then it kind of falls back on your starting rotation. And it's just been rough, man. Like Clay Holmes, we knew this coming in. Like, this is his first year as a starter, and he's gonna run out of steam. He's never thrown this many innings, and it's got to be frustrating. I feel that as a Yankee fan. I feel like there's certain fan bases where you're screaming this out before the year, during free agency, before the deadline, after the deadline, and you're like, how are we not solving these issues? And then the team doesn't solve it, and you're like, I told you. There's always going to be an I told you so moment with a lot of these teams. And it sucks as a fan being correct when these things are correct. And I feel like that's the way it is. And Mets fans right now are miserable. And when I say Mets fans, look, the only one that I see is Frank the Tank. And that's my barometer. That's how I go off of how the Mets are doing.
Barometer.
Frank the Tank.
That's a terrible barometer.
Arguably the best.
He is the you of the Mets. The Mets could be on pace right now to win 135 games. And
I need one of those bite necklaces. Get some fake glasses that I can break over and over again.
Which, by the way, real quick, just a side note, how are the Yanks doing in terms of a playoff spot? Are you guys still whining about still holding a playoff spot as it stands right now, or where are we at with that?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
What do you know?
Cares?
Another series in the books, and what do you know? 10 games over 500, still in a playoff spot, whining like a
still
newborn.
Suck.
Whining like a newborn. No, but you mentioned Clay Holmes in the rotation. The reason I was laughing just a minute ago is I came across this tweet because he's going tonight in the Little League Classic.
Yep, we'll cover it live.
We'll cover it live. We'll be there. Keep him booked. Join us. But there, I saw a tweet from Connor Sand. He said, these lucky kids in Williamsport get to watch Clay Holmes throw 4 1/3 of inefficient innings of baseball tonight. What a treat for them and their families. But he's not wrong. And look, no disrespect to Clay Holmes. If I recall, I think I was pretty, maybe even both of us were kind of up on that move when it happened. We were sort of
nasty. He clearly has the stuff, but it's just to make this your plan A going into the season and then not recognizing who you are and looking in the mirror at the deadline. I don't know.
And then you demote Frankie Montas to the bullpen.
It's all week. It's all week. I'm just not about it. So I applaud you for trying to be positive about that. And
well, I just don't want to be.
I applaud you for going on the radio.
Thanks. I'm gonna download it and burn it to a CD, and
smart,
and play it on my boombox later.
Smart
for my family. As we're gonna gather around the fireplace, I'm gonna play it on my boombox.
Yeah.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
No disrespect.
Let's be honest. Those were the better days. Those were the better days.
I'm becoming an old man right before my own before your eyes, before everybody's eyes. I took it just because I could. I recently stumbled upon a digital camera recently.
Saw that.
And I took
good pics.
Thanks, man. I took it to Nats Park yesterday and I was like, let me just document the day through the lens of this digital camera. And
Beautiful
I was talking,
little thing, just fits in your
oh,
pocket.
dude, so money. Like I get it. The ultimate convenience is having a camera on your phone, but I'm like, this is the next best thing. Like this thing could not have been smaller. It was great.
Hang on to that puppy. Stuff cycles back.
It's brand new, dude.
Yeah.
Somebody at work gave it to me because it was in one of their drawers, and they're like, somebody can either take this or we're gonna throw it away. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I Googled it. Those things go for like $200 right now on eBay.
Sucker. Stupid coworker.
What? No. Very, very excellent, kind coworker. So no disrespect to the coworker. But no, I took it with me.
Coworker.
I think I'm just going backwards, man. Like I'm going physical media where every now and then if we see a DVD of a movie we like, I'm like, just grab that for more reasons than like
I don't even have anything to play that on. Do you?
Yeah, because I've got some of these old consoles around, like a 360.
Oh, true.
Like a Wii. I think you can play them on Wii. But anyway,
who am I kidding? I traded in my PS4 for a PS2. Let's go back in time.
There you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I took it with me to the park, documented the day. But yeah, I'm just going physical media. Yeah, because these streaming services, they change movies. I mean, not to get like tinfoil hat, but they're like they're taking bits and pieces and scenes out of movies. And I'm like, no, I want the movie as it was originally intended.
Yeah.
How did we get here? What were we talking about?
What happened?
You said the radio.
Corrected ourselves. Yeah.
You said the radio. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get us back on track here. Let's talk. Oh no, I was going to ask you one last question on the Mets before we moved on. Not that I'm not going to put you on the spot and give me like a prediction, but the 3-14 in their last 17 New York Mets coming into today, Sunday, August 17th. How far do you have this New York Mets team going?
No further than an NLDS. They don't have the pitching depth. I could see them getting through a wild card round. Because again, like they obviously have a good lineup and they have superstars in that lineup that can get them through. Yeah, but after that, you don't have the pitching depth to just roll right into an NLDS with your ace going game 3. When you roll right into those series, it's like you don't have the luxury of lining up your pitching the way some of these first round buys do, or these first place teams do. So it's just like I don't have any faith in that pitching depth.
And then it's worth noting too. You said no further than NLDS, which as a reminder, that's a 5-game series, and you're worried about their depth on the mound, even in a 5-game series, much less a
exactly.
Series. So yeah, I think I'm kind of with you. As it stands right now, I just don't think they have enough in the tank from a front end point of view. Speaking of front end, let's talk about a big name on the front end of the Philadelphia Phillies rotation, Zack Wheeler, getting hit with some pretty brutal news. Got a blood clot in his throwing. I don't want to say shoulder, but it's like, did they say it's close to? Maybe it's like up near his shoulder or something. I don't know. Doesn't sound great. But he got put on the 15-day IL with the blood clot. I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about what this entails, the impact it has on his health, the impact it has on his ability to throw a baseball. But I feel like there's a short list of things medically that I would enjoy receiving less than hearing that I have a blood clot in my arm. That sounds terrible.
I've had one. It's kind of like a weird, freaky thing right away because you don't feel them. They're just
right, which is scary. Like it's just
pretty
there.
Scary. And they can obviously lead to like scarier things. And that's the whole point of the freak out. Because like Wemby with the Spurs, he had one in the NBA and it like immediately ended his season. Like, because whatever dislodges that clot and causes that to start going towards the heart is what is like the scariest moment of it. And so whether that's physical, movement, there's a bunch of different factors that I've had one. I don't know enough about it to speak to it, but like it pretty much trumps any other potential injury that you have going on. It makes you wonder, like, did he go into an MRI for something else? Because you don't feel blood clots. You don't know if they're there. There's no symptoms to having them. You just have them.
He said, well, he went Friday against the Nats, was limited to 5 innings for the second consecutive start. Phillies head athletic trainer said Wheeler had been feeling better after some right shoulder soreness, but that changed Friday. He felt a little heaviness, the trainer said. So yeah, something probably just felt off, and then you go and get a
and then you see that. Like mine was found. I had some stomach stuff going on, and so I had MRIs on my stomach, and they were like, "What's that?" And they saw that. So
that's scary stuff, man.
And then you go on blood thinners for a while, and then you just kind of keep an eye on it. But it's probably safe to say he could be done for the year. Like I don't think that's crazy to say. I think that could very well end his season. Because it is a serious thing.
I was just gonna say, like, that sucks for if he does end up missing extended time or even the entire season.
It takes months for progress of that. You can't just go in and like solve that issue. It's not like a little arthroscopic surgery to where you just like, hey, let's get rid of this kind of thing. It's not an easy solve.
That's what I'm saying. If that ends up being the case, he misses extended time. Like it sucks, but you don't want this to develop into something worse, man. Like it is
life threatening.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I'm not gonna sit here and ridicule the guy even if he chooses to like opt for the err on the side of caution or whatever, and be like, hey, I just don't know if it's wise. Like I'm not going to sit here and ridicule the guy because like I said, this is some terrifying stuff, and I hope he can recover well. But either way, still a tough blow for the Phillies. And honestly, I was reminded as I'm scrolling through some Zack Wheeler tweets here, yet another tough blow for Zack Wheeler and his Cy Young chance. Anytime this guy,
I know.
Oh, I say anytime this guy puts together a Cy Young campaign, it's seemingly every year. But anytime this guy gets close, we're on the verge of sniffing it, of tasting a Cy Young. Finally, for this guy, the universe is like, no, we're good. We're good on that. Actually,
if there was a rotation out there that could take a hit, losing an ace is very hard to recover from.
There's losing an ace and there's losing Zack Wheeler, though.
Exactly. And I think that there is enough depth there to where they could still do damage in the postseason. But you just got to hope that, like, if you shut him down, you can get him ramped back up in time to have a run in October. And that's where it takes a while to like let these things kind of go away. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but I do remember I had to go back to the doctor like once a month for a year of just being like, another MRI, has there been any progress? And you're just going back, and it's just kind of letting the body like work it out with those blood thinners. So I don't know.
This is coming from somebody that, again, knows very little about these kinds of things. Obviously, you've experienced it, so you know far more than I do. So I don't know the likelihood of a return as we're sitting here talking about it, and I'm not trying to, get Phillies fans. I'm not trying to give them false hope here, but talk about how electric this would be.
Vibes.
If they're like, hey, we need to shut this guy down. They get him ramped back up just in time, and it's almost like a game time thing for the postseason where it's like, is this guy going to be our game one starter or not? And Phillies fans are just like holding their breath collectively, leading it, like going into October. And then it's like, yeah, actually, our guy's back. And then he takes the ball in Philly. Come on now.
Oddly enough, because they're teammates, but it's like the, what was it, his wrist, Schwarber, where all he did was just track pitches for a couple months because he couldn't swing when he was a Cub.
Oh, yeah.
And then he came back in time.
And then, like, I think he had like a great October, like a great month that year, I think. Yeah. So was that the same? That was the same October he put the ball on top of the scoreboard, right? It's been a minute. If I recall, that was the same when he came back from that injury. It's when I'm pretty sure he put the ball up on the scoreboard in Wrigley. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know, but it's I think this is a team that can withstand the first couple rounds without him. But can you win a World Series without a Cy Young? It's hard to say.
Well, I mean, obviously two completely different situations, but the Braves, as an example, they go on to win a World Series without Ronald Acuna Jr. So again, different situations, different sides of the ball, but
never know.
Can vibes in Philly carry them all the way?
Never know.
Who's to say? But again, that's assuming the worst. Who's to say what happens with Zack Wheeler? All I know is hoping for the best for the Phillies ace. Closing the book here. Few more items. Brandon Young, Orioles rookie, had a perfect game bid on, was that Friday in Houston? His home state of Texas, a native of Lumberton, Texas.
Good town.
Lost the
Lumberton.
Are you just saying that?
I have no idea. I've never heard of that town.
Like, are you a regular in Lumberton or no?
Good blue collar town.
Good blue collar town. The people
assume.
you gotta tip your cap, man. Lumberton, they know. Honestly, real quick,
they know hard work.
I mean, look, I know Lumberton, you know Lumberton, but just for the people at home that don't know Lumberton, just a quick history lesson. Lumberton, according to Wikipedia, again, we know this, but you may not. City in Hardin County, Texas, population of 13,554, according to the 2020 census, up from 11,943. So naturally, the number's only going up as people realize just how great of a town this is.
That's right.
Again, you and I know this, but it was established as a stop on the Gulf for the railway that was built through the
a little north of Beaumont.
It was built the railway that was built through the area in 1894.
When you zoom into the city and everything as far as maps go is just on the one road.
Yeah.
It's just one road going up.
It served the sawmills and lumber camps.
That's right.
But yeah, just a good town, good city. Lumberton.
That's right.
Anywho's,
Napoli's Italian restaurant.
Just some blue collar people.
Oh, that's so good. Those towns where the restaurants are like, we have a name, but I'm going to tell you what it is after that. Napoli's. Can't just call it Napoli's. It's Napoli's Italian restaurant. You know what I mean?
Just in case there's any question.
Jorge's Mexican Cafe. We need to know exactly what it is.
Mexican Cafe. That's good. No, but Brandon Young lost the perfect game. But I got confused for a minute because I thought this was like his season debut or his career debut, excuse me. But he actually just has not had a good run to his career. It was actually his 11th big league start. He'd gone 0-6 with an ERA of 6.70.
Might have found something
through the first 10 starts, but lost his perfect game with 4 outs to go.
Might have found something.
Good bounce back for the kid.
What'd they say? What do you say in Trouble with the Curve? He's like, he just misses his mom and dad. Good movie. Average movie. Average movie.
Not to go down the
Better than most baseball movies, but not great.
Not to go down a rabbit trail, but
They have trails or they have holes?
rabbit trail.
It's hard to say. I'm not a hunter.
No, not to go down a rabbit hole, but baseball movies have some good truths sprinkled into them. You know, like the one in Moneyball where you mentioned the one like he just misses his mom and dad. The one in Moneyball where they're talking about like the girlfriend. They're right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. His girlfriend's ugly.
he's got no confidence. I'm like, look, they said it, not me. I just think it's funny how like they really
that's old school, baby. That's peak baseball. If that's your scouting, that's peak baseball.
That's old timey stuff right there. Anywho's, speaking of the Orioles, they called up Samuel Basallo, their top prospect catcher, to offer some help behind the dish. I think they got three catchers on the roster now, but big moment for the O's and their future and their prospect talent.
Where just a quick temperature check on Rutschman.
Yeah.
You're more in the area than I am. Sure. I'm starting to back up a little bit. Is that the vibe there?
The vibe that I'm getting as it pertains to Adley Rutschman is that backup seems a little aggressive. I think recalibrating is a better word. I think the expectation, they're as I mentioned, they're starting to recalibrate, and I think Adley is going to, at least in my opinion, I think Adley is now off of the must extend list. Like this is a guy you have to lock up for forever. And again, I'm not saying a down year is a reason to just ship this guy out. Is it 2? Am I losing track of time? He was an all-star last year.
What's that saying though? What does that mean anymore?
Yeah, I mean, he had 250, 19 jacks. Yeah, not great. He has 709 OPS last year. Yeah. Must have been an early season thing. Anywho's, I think they've recalibrated. I think they've reshifted the focus. And in my opinion, it only solidifies the reality that Gunnar is the guy that you have to, like, if you are going to extend one of these baby birds of like the original baby birds, because as we talked about, they're just bringing up Basallo, the Jackson's obviously in that mix as well, but of like sort of the OG baby birds, if you will, he's the guy obviously that I think you need to lock up, especially, you know, being at a premier position. And again, I know Adley is very important to that clubhouse and to the direction of that team, but in terms of performance, we're talking about 2 less than ideal years. So begs the question of like, how many is it going to take before the Orioles are like, we kind of have the future here now. So the whole Colin Coward, like, hey, LeBron, we've got Ben Simmons. We're good.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Basallo is Ben Simmons in this analogy, but you get my point. Like, hey, like we're good. You can go. No disrespect to Adley, but
it's hard to say, man, because
how this goes.
Like, you want to see what you got with Basallo and like the Basallo. You gotta, I don't know, man. Like what's the ceiling? Because like when he first came up, you're like, is this the next Posey? Is this okay? We'll go maybe like a little slightly down to like, is he the next Joe Mauer? Where like, hey, great career, probably not an all-time great. Now we're getting into like, is this like can we get a Victor Martinez out of him? You know what I mean? Like I just feel like it's dropping a little bit. I'm pretty out on it. I don't
particularly appreciate the Victor Martinez slander.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, no disrespect to like
great. It sounded
all of very good. But like, all of the hype around him when he was coming up and after his rookie year was just like, oh, Adley Rutschman let's start creating the statue now. And the prettiest lefty swing in baseball. And it's just like, I can't get there personally, but we'll see. And now it's just like,
and then they went on that run where they hadn't lost a series or whatever.
Yeah, but like, can you
get called up? Yeah.
And the more the Victor Martinez thing is just like, can you like,
or got swept, not lost a series, like, right? Or what was it? Get swept or lost a series? I don't know. One of those two.
Can you reinvent yourself into like a, shift to first base kind of thing?
Already? That's so early, man.
Yeah, but like if Sam Basallo is like the guy,
yeah,
he's the guy. I don't know how to look at the Orioles and say like, you're an organization that pivots well. Don't know if they are. Don't know if they're going to do this the right way. Don't know if they're going to do this.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
Last item
There's a
here.
lot of organizations out there that don't pivot well, by the way.
Yeah, you're not singling out the O's. No. Marcelo Meyer done for the year. Season-ending surgery on his right wrist. Obviously, sucky news if you're Meyer. Sucky news if you're the Red Sox. However, if we're to take a positive out of this, it's that it helps a little bit with the conversation of where's everybody going to play. Because, as you recall, we did not offload any outfielders like we believed would happen for the Red Sox at the deadline. Still got Wilbur, although he's hurt now, I think. I don't know how long.
Wilbur got hurt?
Willier, excuse me.
I called him Wilbur too. He got hurt?
He's day to day. And to be honest with you, I was at the pool. I did not catch the nature of the injury, but I did see he's day to day. I don't know how much time he's going to miss.
I get the home run updates. I saw he went yaya today, didn't he? Or was that yesterday?
Today.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, he's had a good week. However, as I was saying, with this Marcelo Meyer news, it's sort of at least one name off the board that you have to worry about fitting in, because Christian Campbell's been swinging it better. Talks of him possibly coming back soon. So
these things have their ways of working themselves out. It's just the nature of the beast when it comes to this length of a season. And I'm not saying like I'm not rooting for injuries when there's log jams, but at the same time, it's just like that's why you have depth. So I always thought it was kind of odd for the Dodgers, or excuse me, the Red Sox to just sit there and just be like, we got to get rid of somebody now. Like, it's okay to carry that depth and see how the season goes. And now, like, you're almost thankful that you didn't offload one of these guys, because this is how seasons go.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I got a few.
Well, that should wrap us up here. We're going to take a little bit of a break here. If you're watching live, we'll be back here in literally 30 minutes on the dot to learn how to keep book with Nate. Nate's going to teach us. I think I've pretty much got it down pat.
I'm going to go find me a mechanical pencil. I like how thin that right. Actually, I might get a thin.
Check we talked last time about how dull my pencil was. Check this puppy out, man. And it's a Ticonderoga Dixon. Are you kidding me?
That's an elite pencil. Elite eraser on that pencil.
Oh, it's fresh. It's essentially a brand new pencil. This is what the inventor of the pencil envisioned when he was coming up with the idea. This is what he was going for.
This is what
he or she, I don't know,
was designing on their bats to replicate, was that pencil.
This is what they were using as the model right here. So we will be back in 30 minutes. And obviously, if you're listening to this on the podcast Monday morning, let's say, and you missed our keeping book,
we'll see you next month.
I think we're gonna have one more. We'll have one more in September. We've been trying to get once a month. We'll have one more in September, so don't miss that one if you wanna learn how to keep book with us. But other than that, that's all I got. New merch coming soon. I'm working on it.
Is that so? I'm excited about that. Good stuff. Clap it up. Let's have a good week, everybody. For those listening on Monday morning, it's getting there. Dog days are coming to an end. We're getting there. Don't matter, though. We know the mentality. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all. And as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.